Liberals, how cooked are you? So Charlie Kirk gets shot. You're all over everything, going fucking bananas. Golem ring, monkeys at a banana raffle. Monkeys at a banana raffle. Extreme trillionaire. So, how cooked are you, liberals? You answer in polls. Your men are, even though they're interested in family formation, it's below the level of men who are right of center. Men who are right of center want to do that which forms families and maintains them. All women think that there's something called a career. So what it is that men invent the new cool dance, the new cool trend. The women show up to look at the cool boys. Eventually, those niche cool boys end up becoming like kind of the look that all the other dudes try to look like, try to be like. This is why people, when they talk about male influencers and they kind of laugh and they think it's trite or something like that, they just fundamentally don't really understand that about culture. There was, a great example of this. Just trying to name me the MCs. There was MC Light. There was pretty much Queen Latifah, Sweet Tea, maybe 2 or 3 others of note for almost a decade in hip-hop, because boys invent cool. If this is understood and coupled then with what I'm talking about here, see, then family formation is going to become cool to the girls who, one, it already is something they wanted to have happen, but 2, that they will be cool girls. They'll be the cute mom with cute kids. The idea of homeschooling, more and more and more. Whoa, those are serious. Damn, that's wild. Anyway, probably just somebody just didn't want them anymore. That's really. That the cool girl will be the woman who has a stable life. At this point, really think about this. With what women are complaining about online, the woman who will be like the woman everybody's like, oh my gosh, I can't believe you're so great, and blah, 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 is the woman with the stable life. And all kinds of pictures of her looking happy with her family. And this idea of, oh my gosh, I totally worked until 3 a.m. and then slept at the office winning. Like, this is something. Okay, actually, there we go. There's another one. I turn the light box and look at it. Men don't do. Oh, and then I had to sleep at the office, bro. It was fucking dope. Nobody. This isn't a braggadocio. This career life fucking thing. Like, and I didn't see my kids for days because I was working at the office. It was fucking. It was metal. That's not. Nobody. So I guess career life, yay, we're winning, So the trend shows that what the boys want, where the boys are at, is why don't we just settle down and have a normal life that doesn't have chaos in it. The women want career life because apparently corporations and their employment. This isn't that they're being this wasn't an answer of being an entrepreneur. It was like it was a career, so I don't know exactly, but I'm presuming, being that this is usually the case, it would be a corporation that would be employing the lady at whatever the career is, whatever this high end amazing, I guess, financing satellites or something, whatever the dream is, that, but that still requires an employer. So you still have a master in a way, but one that totally has no feelings towards you whatsoever, owes you no allegiance. What you create with this kind of this master is going to be gone one day. No one will remember your company was ever there, the deal you made. Now people will remember the children you made, most likely. But you see, I'm just running through kind of the logic of how people must be thinking through this when they're like, yeah, what I want is to be in an office. Fuck yeah. That's winning. Like, what? Okay, okay, all right, so I guess what was your goal, okay, and so then from there, how cooked are you, liberals? So you're not having the kids. For you to have the mega amazing, everybody has the amazing job, and it comes with like an omelet chef and stuff like that. To do that will still require that you have corporate America corporating really, really hard. Making deals, deals upon deals, doing the things, filing the papers with the government. But then it became that. Oh, now all these black women, they're out of work. Oh, because so many were being employed by the government. Or a corporate liaison to a government agency. So once that, the reasoning for such a position is no longer there because of the way the regulation changes, then that job vanishes. So how cooked are you? Because that's the people are, this is like biblical, the job numbers losses with that category of citizen. It's phantasmagorical, biblical. It winter has arrived, as Kevin Samuels said. Note, everybody, there's this great celebration on the left, Golluming out, dancing around. Yeah, I have the ring. When Kevin Samuels passed on. And all these women who it's not even a matter of like, oh, I disagreed with him, and you guys know how much I did. No, but, come on, he's dead. Nobody could do that. Now, another part of that is, how cooked are you? That is a matter of honor culture and good old-fashioned New England superstition. You simply don't behave a certain way around death. And it's a beautiful old thing that both cultures, South and North, both share. That you just don't mock the dead. You don't take death lightly. No whistling past the graveyard, that kind of thing. Salt over the shoulder. But how cooked are you, liberals, when your New England Yankee culture and the best of it is now openly thrown in the bin by the young liberals, and they go out of their way to speak ill of the dead? Far out of their way. That Johnny Rotten would be like, oi, man, you were saying some mean things about a dead guy. If anyone said that about Sid, we'd be having a problem, you know. But for me, I know you're like that. I know. I watched it happen. And I was like, oh, you guys have no idea, like, that how this is going to turn on you so bad. And I really like that Hood has that one piece from that guy from the Boondocks. No, at a certain point it becomes they just don't fucking care. You got a problem? Well, good thing that the law now is you got to solve your own problem. That's it. When that happens, that's it. You're cooked forever. Because that's a society that is, we don't know if we can trust each other anymore. So your problem, my friend, is your problem, not my problem. And we go back to something older, an older era in America, and black people aren't going to like that, and black people are putting themselves there. The black liberals are putting themselves there. This is just amazing to watch how cooked the liberals are. You don't have the children to make up for the fact that the conservatives now, and the people even who are even just standing outside of all this, they're homeschooling now. There's a lot of homeschooling going on right now. So the people who are homeschooling, one of the key things is these kids are watching from as they're being homeschooled. They're kind of watching all this. You know, they don't really get it. They don't really understand. You know, there's only so much they really could grasp. You know. The thing is, though, like when I was younger, there would be this whole kind of almost epistemology of kids who went to big schools and then the homeschooled kid. The homeschooled kid had his own kind of world that he knew about. Fascinating, but really odd. Well, now there's so many of them. This is starting to threaten school districts' funding. This is a sea change in the way. Well, because Americans found out from people who would have been the predecessors of Charlie Kirk, you know, how we actually got to the moon. We all used to actually be far better schooled at home for a very long time in American history, with small schools in the local townships. There wasn't really a system of education. And so now it's pulling kids out of school to be homeschooled. That's the doom. That you liberals can't get past that. You've required the public schooling system to exist. You need the federal department to exist. You made this overwhelmingly clear, and now you're cooked. Now you're cooked. We got you. And there is the change that's going to come over, like already there's educational changes happening throughout the South, that it's like they're going totally changing the way curriculums work, and already seeing shifts in success. But it's still kind of an experiment as people go back to a more classical system of education, as there's an expansion of the privatization of education, and then also fundamentally that eventually it's going to be that the GOP is they're going to have to deal with the congressional the Congress created National Educators Association. Or if I remember right, that's the one that Congress actually invented by law. It's going to have to be dealt with. That's no. People could form the unions they wish to completely voluntarily, and yeah, fuck them. That's because it can never happen again. It can never have the ability to rule over us ever again. Because you see it that way. That's the other part of it. So now, about Kirk specifically. So Kirk was actually a sort of a typical Republican youth who was into the typical Republican view. He hated the far right and the alt-right, which he's another one who he didn't really react to them. He wasn't really around during that in a way that I remember him being worth paying attention to. He was one of those people who he kind of acted like the alt-right just didn't even exist, that he didn't pay attention to Richard Spencer's National Policy Institute, didn't pay attention to any of those writers or any of the other blogs that the alternative right blog spot aggregated, just to make sure that all the listeners who think they know things are informed of what things really are. So this world of blog readers and writers were how this whole thing started, and Nicholas Fuentes was one of the people who was sort of one of the kids who came out of that. And when Trump happened, he went bonkers, And the thing was, him and Charlie would get into fights about things, mostly over the race issues. Charlie Kirk was the defender of a diverse America. He's the guy who defends it. It's Fuentes who doesn't. Fuentes is the one who wants an absolute immigration moratorium, or only Northern European and Northern Mediterranean people to emigrate. Like he openly makes that clear. Not even like light Asians. He's no. So he has a totally different view, and so these guys would get into fights all the time online about this, and Kirk would end up typically walking off tail between his legs, because Fuentes had what he was saying down cold. He had his points simple, and it's also, Fuentes is not stupid. People might want to think he is. Oh my God, look at this dude. Oh my God. It's just so lame and gay. You all are so lame and gay. What are you talking about? If you just fucking enforce the law, you wouldn't have these problems. You just don't enforce the law and protect your own citizens. That's all it is. It's either incompetence or stupidity or something malevolent. And now everybody's getting it. It's something malevolent. You like crime. It turns you on in some weird way. It makes you feel like you're like a tough East Ender. Oi, mate. I grew up in a barrel of butcher knives, Anyway. So, how cooked are you? Then it comes down to... So, now, the stories are advancing on how stupid is the West Coast this way. We're going to have our own CDC. Why? Exactly why? Because there's no evidence for the efficacy of the COVID-19 vaccine The federal CDC has taken it off of for anyone to get at any time, pretty much. Now it's you just can't, your dumbass can't fucking get the fucking poison injected in you stupid son of a bitch. So you're welcome, you stupid son of a bitch. And so so your myth juice, and so now you can't have this shit. And so they're like, oh, well, we've got to form our own CDC so that we can have unproven, untested, ineffective medicines that wackos can inject themselves with, because we simply don't have a rational enough population, and or we have such a demented understanding of wellness and health now on the West Coast, that this idea that, well, almost any 50-year-old man at the time of COVID-19 that wasn't pretty much sitting down all the time would have had enough muscle mass that their body would have naturally fought it off. We knew this. This was a known. This isn't like some kind of theoretical or something. This was a known at the time. So at the time I was in a category I didn't even know. I wouldn't have even known COVID-19 existed. I was in good enough shape. These were people who had abysmally bad abilities to cope with low virulence illnesses. A low virulence illness. Fauci is wanted in foreign countries now. You guys are so fucking cooked. This is amazing. And I only liked it because this isn't even boiling the frog. This is like boiling. This is like watching the sea boil so I could have some chowder. I mean, like, what the hell? Like, this is amazing. And you guys are all over the internet thinking like, oh, this is boss sauce. I'm swinging my dick around, saying crazy things about how fun it is that people get politically assassinated. And it's like, why vote then? Do you not understand the simplest part of the logic here? Once all it is who can just kill the other person? Why are you voting? Oh, I remember, was it some dumb bitch who was always up against conservative? He's like, there's no such thing as a high trust and low trust society. Oh, I'm sorry, is a society that assassinates other people for their political views. That there's places that no one can believe this happens. That would be high trust. Well, I mean, why would anyone commit violence like that? You can vote. Are you from Japan? You must be extremely Asian or extremely European. Extreme trillionaire. Monkeys at the banana raffle. And so there's a lot of old liberals that you need to get. Like, it doesn't even matter if you think this is time, liberation has come, time to pick up the gun, and all this silliness, beating a tambourine, singing like it was the 60s or 70s. No. We men don't want to have shit to do with your revolutions or your causes. You're all going to pay us. And that's all. The future is us and nations. And you're cooked. And so enjoy this. Enjoy this while you get the opportunity. Enjoy your bloodlust and your malevolence, and patting yourself on the back. Look at, we're And because it's like, okay, you see, the whole idea is that we invest trust in you so we don't have extremely high levels of security, defensive structures. Oh, defensive structures. How cooked are you? LA, all proving Donovan Warland. Once again, fried chicken man is correct. Last thing I'll bring up. Unbreakable glass. Now, LA is being lined store by store, as people can afford it, with unbreakable fucking glass. So that now people, they try to break into it, reinforced storefronts, unbreakable glass. Pardon me. That's that's the game. I said it was going to happen. You're going to see defensive structures, shopping places. Because it's going to basically, this thing will roll through society, and it takes time. But with the unsafe people, the untrustworthies, the riot people, those people, you're gonna have to build things. Oh, Project 2025. Oh no. Yeah, they're fucking petrified. The left is fucking petrified. And the best part about it is the whole idea of, no, we're gonna just take things away from them. That's all. We're gonna just take things away. You're just not gonna have funding for that. They're already having to shut down 176, I think, professors or the various staff laid off up at the college. That's already, I'm trying to look to just see around the place, around where I live. What are people doing as far as renting places out? What's going on? But I'm expecting won't be very long until somebody like Reventure starts putting together all of these college towns that the colleges have had to shut down. You're cooked. You're cooked, liberals. Where culturally, what kind of made you what you were culturally is gone. There's no milieu like what happened in the 90s that brought stuff like daisies back into design and Lennon glasses and stuff. All of that's just this thing that, like, kind of wealthy people whose parents were into being neo-hippies, that's the look. Yeah, you're cooked. Later.